welcome to Scoliosis Dialogues, an SRS podcast. I'm your guest host for today, Ashton Newshafer, SRS Executive Director. With me today, I have Dr. Serena Hu, past president of the SRS, as well as Dr. Megan Johnson and Dr. Zishan Sardar. And we are here to talk about the L.E.A.D SRS program that was recently launched. Dr. Hu, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the impetus for starting the program and kind of how that all came about?
Sure. So I think the SRS has always had just really outstanding people and people who want to be involved in leading as a service to the SRS, and partly because of my experience in the AOA, which is a society sort of focused on leadership development. It seemed like a lot of the lessons that we've learned were easily transferable to SRS, and it would be something that would really put a benefit to our society as a whole and to individual members. So actually, Ashton, you and I spent a lot of time talking and kind of fleshing out what would be in the course, or what we could have in the course, what would be a benefit to the members, what people would want to see, and then we had a retreat. I think in a little over a year ago now, where we basically brought the executive committee together to talk about whether this is something that they thought was also going to be good, instead of just two of us thinking about it. And it was pretty unanimous that we thought that this would be something that would benefit the SRS and that people would be interested in. And certainly given the response that we had to applications, which was much higher than we anticipated, it sounds like it seems to have put a need and a nerve in society.
Yeah, what are you most excited about for this program and what the participants are going to be learning?
I think there's, we spend so much time learning about how to be surgeons, how to be doctors, and we spend very little time learning about how to lead. And so learning how to do that effectively, learning how to get feedback so we can improve ourselves, and then so that includes communications, includes organizational skills, but also includes things like how does the SRS work? And I think we tell people that, but until you're in there and you listen to it, seeing how it works, it doesn't necessarily sink in. And so I think just even the basics of how the SRS works, how the finances work, how do we communicate with each other, how do we learn from each other, and how do we do the best possible job as we're kind of working, I don't want to say through our way through the SRS, but there's so many different roles within the SRS, and people have different skill sets, and they can bring different skill sets and different aspects of their experience and talents to that, but also can learn from each other and from past leaders in the SRS. I'm most excited about the fact that we've had an in-person meeting here. And when I've been in other leadership courses in the AOA and business meetings, the networking and getting to know your peers who are also really interested in leading in the SRS and your society is just really galvanizing, really energizing. So that was really exciting to be able to participate in yesterday.
Yeah, I would say the in-person was great, and having you all in the room was wonderful. I'm going to switch gears a little bit to the two of you. What drove you to want to participate in this program? I'll start with you, Dr. Johnson.
Yeah, I have never done any formal leadership training, and so I think just that aspect of having the opportunity to do that through the SRS was initially attractive. And I think for somebody who's younger in their career, I realized that even if you're not the chair of your department or the division chief or something, you are still leading in some way every day, whether it's just in the operating room as being a surgeon or in clinic. And so I really wanted to try to start to develop leadership skills that would take me, hopefully throughout my career to next levels of leadership. And also I think understanding how the society works is intimidating, and you don't always really know where to jump in and get your feet wet, and this has been a really nice introduction to the SRS and how it works and the inner workings and how the kind of chain of command works. So for both of those reasons, that's why I wanted to be part of the program.
Yeah, Dr. Sardar?
Yeah, it was just something similar. Just like Dr. Hu said, we get a lot of training going through med school or medicine, theoretical stuff, but we don't, I think, get a lot of training to real life in terms of, like, practically speaking, what happens when you get out of the medical field itself, dealing with other issues, dealing with leadership problems, business aspects, all those type of things. And so I think when this course was announced, that was one of the bigger appeals to me, that this gives me opportunity to learn about these things that we are seeing all these leaders do, but we don't really know how they got to this point. And so I think that was kind of the biggest reason to look into it. The other thing was, the SRS to me is the main society. And again, as I grow within my career and also hope to grow within the society, I hope to be, growing through the leadership positions as well. And so, typically what's happened is that, you're part of this committee, you're part of that committee. We don't really know how that happens, and all of a sudden I know I'm in this committee, and now, you get some role and whatnot. So you're kind of thrown into it. And so this is, I think, a good way for, just like Dr. Hu said, for us to actually formally be introduced to what is happening, what SRS is, what the organization is, how you guys are deciding things, and what may be required to really be in those positions, and then get the opportunity to grow into that position. So hopefully we can, I think, serve the society better, and also for ourselves do a better job. So I think all those things were good motivation for me to join.
So it was really fun from my perspective to be able to put together some of those talks for all of you to listen to, because I live this all day, every day. And so I live it, breathe it, know it really in depth, and I sometimes have to remind myself that not everybody has that insight. And I think that is a really good thing that everybody's been able to take away is, how does this society work? What are all the layers? Because I do think we have a lot of complex layers in the society and how it functions. What has your biggest takeaway been so far in the first half of the program?
I think, a few things. Number one, like we were just talking about, I think just getting to meet new people, young people. I think people who are hopefully kind of in the same boat and will be growing up in kind of the leadership chain, hopefully in SRS. So I think that's the biggest thing. Kind of gives you the opportunity to kind of form that bond early on. And not like 10 years later. So, we are all kind of getting to know each other. We may not have spoken on the board, but we're meeting now. And so I think it just kind of builds that network early on. And I think it also, that you become better colleagues and hopefully start to think about the future of the society itself, so that as we hopefully progress into those roles, so that I think we learn to collaborate better to begin with, as opposed to being in that position all of a sudden and, hey, do this now. So I think that to me is the biggest thing. I think obviously learning from leaders who are in that position and their challenges and how they got to that and how they dealt with difficult problems that we are still dealing with. And I think it's also good to see that others have faced challenges and how they tackled those challenges and what it takes to be a leader. And then learning from their mistakes, but also learning from all their strengths. So I think that's really been so far, for me, the positives.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me has been the networking right off the bat. Just being in the same room as some of the people that I've seen on the podium and in leadership roles at meetings, and being able to be in a casual setting and kind of really get to know them has been wonderful. And I also think in the first half we focused a lot on communication and kind of leadership styles, and that has been really helpful just already in helping me with some of the leadership roles I have, at my work now, and I'm really looking forward to kind of building upon what we've already talked about.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to most in the next half of the program?
I mean, so many things. I think there's some really great speakers lined up, and the reading assignments have been wonderful, and I've learned a ton already from them. I think like the wellness stuff coming up is going to be really interesting, and kind of thinking about work-life balance and how you can do all these amazing things and still kind of have life outside. And for me personally, it's really great to have some female leaders who I can look up to and kind of see myself in. And so I'm really just looking forward to kind of getting to know them better. And the whole thing has been wonderful.
Yeah. What about you?
I'll say looking forward to the next part, and also honestly this part. I think one of the things that you guys have done really well, and it's probably deliberate, is putting together a diverse group of people. Not just gender-based, but also regional. And I think that was like, as I was sitting in the room yesterday, you see that diversity. You see people from all parts of the world. You see people with different backgrounds, religions, obviously gender. So I think that that shows that as the SRS has this this intention to be a global society, and I think that's a huge value for someone like me and for everyone else, and for any organization to grow and to have that footprint. I'm looking forward again as we go into the other sessions. I think we are going to be again collaborating more with peers that I don't normally associate with every day. So I'm looking forward to ongoing interaction with this diverse group of people from all across the globe. And also, like you said, looking forward to learning more from our leaders, from the speakers as well.
Yeah. So what's interesting is while we have a very deliberate view on making sure that we have diverse groups in everything that we do, I think it's a testament to the culture of the SRS that this diverse group actually happened completely naturally through the evaluation process of the application. We had a very natural stopping point with kind of the scoring that took place, and when we looked at that, we were like, wow, this is just so amazing. The geographic representation, the diversity of practice, male, female, all of those types of things, they just worked out in a really excellent way. And I think that's just kind of, it shows where SRS has come to at this point, that it was able to happen naturally, which was so great to see, I think. Dr. Hu, what are you most excited about for the participants to learn throughout the whole program or to participate in?
It's hard to put my finger on one thing because I think you have to take the program as a whole, right? The pieces, they're just pieces, but they build on each other. And I think the fact that they are, input from a lot of people between the retreat and the task force putting it together, a lot of people that kind of went into like, what does it take to help you guys, learn and be better leaders? And so we had basically people who had that experience putting that all together, and it was a consensus. And so I think it's just the whole package. So I'm really excited to. I've been very excited to get the feedback, which has been very positive, and hopefully we will also come with suggestions to make next year's cohort and sessions even better. And I think we'll continue to grow and make it better and better and better. And I think that's going to benefit every individual as well as the society. And I think that's what's most exciting, is the whole package together. And the package includes the cohort of you guys getting to know each other. And we've already been talking about what we do about the alumni, and somebody said, well, can I take this next year too? And it's so great, or whatever. It's like, no, we need to level us with the next group, but we need to have an alumni group, that will stay together and be involved. And I think that's really important once you develop those interactions and those friendships.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to the two of you, what would you share with somebody who's considering applying for the LEAD program? Those applications will be open May through early June of this year.
There's no reason not to apply. You should absolutely do it if you're thinking about it. It's been a wonderful experience. You get to meet so many amazing people and people that'll be part of your career and life forever. So absolutely do it.
Yeah. I'll say even if you're not thinking about leadership, you're going to be a leader in some way, form, or sort.
Yeah.
So I think, and if you have not taken a previous course in leadership, I think you should definitely take this opportunity. The SRS is doing that for us, which we're grateful for. So I think you should definitely take the opportunity to take this course and learn from it, because it's not just being here, I'm the chairman of the department. It's at every day you're leading something as a surgeon. And so I've just learned so much from all the different examples that we've talked about, different leadership styles, but also different difficult scenarios, communication, crisis management, all these type of things. It's everyday stuff. It's just everyday stuff. So I think we're just not taught this stuff. And for me, it's like it was so foreign. This whole, a lot of the things that are talked about, there are these ways to look at these scenarios and how to deal with it. We're just not told that. We're like in med school, we're just like, study this. And so I think it's unfortunately it's a shame, but my suggestion would be for everyone, honestly, to apply for this, and if you qualify, consider yourself lucky to do this course.
Yeah, Great. Any final thoughts from anybody in the group?
Just thank you so much, Dr. Hu, for setting this all up for us. It was really fun.
Well, thank you for your enthusiasm and for helping us make it the best course possible, because if you weren't involved and engaged, it wouldn't be as successful as it's been. So we should have awesome.
This has been great, and I also feel sad and happy, like you said, right?
Yeah.
I want to be part of this in some way or form.
We'll make
So-
sure it keeps going. Don't worry. Don't worry.
So that's the thing that
Yeah.
you feel kind of like, oh, this is so great, but you don't want it to happen.
You guys have all your good lead swag, so you can be the cool kids, because you're the only ones who have it. So.
So the faculty doesn't get it.
No, I know. So you can try to steal a hat.
There you go.
So thank you all for your time. Thanks for participating and being actively engaged. We're so excited about this program. We're excited to have the next group start to apply and be considered. So watch for applications.